is the Look at Me Now podcast, the Coach Heather experience, where we rise, we love, and we live fully. If you are ready to rewrite your story and become the person that you know you were meant to be, you're in the right place. Today's episode is going to be amazing. We're talking about something that I've been working on personally, and I know it's going to resonate with you. Many of us need to work on this, right? And if you've had trauma in your life, sometimes it's a little more difficult. Listening. I mean, really listening. The art and the practice of active listening. Not planning what we're going to say next, not trying to fix, not trying to motivate or to coach, but just being present. Now, if you're anything like me, you're naturally a talker. You've got stories, ideas, wisdom, and energy for days. You walk into a room and the room changes. You are the vibe, right? And that's beautiful until it's not. So when I started realizing this was something I needed to grow in was probably a few years ago, and I keep having instances that remind me. I was talking to my husband one day and I could just see him shutting down a little, not because I did anything wrong, but because I wasn't really asking how he felt. I was talking at him, not with him. Same thing with my mom. Sometimes I leave the conversation and I don't even know how she's doing. I've shared all about my day, but I didn't pause to ask her about hers. And this is not rooted in selfishness. There's a lot of different reasons why we do this, but what really made it click for me is as much as I love people, I love so many people, I noticed that I was connecting more with extroverts like my friend Hillary, dominant personalities, and people who could match my energy. Hello, Lindsay Hemmons. Hello, Hillary. Okay, but the softer, quieter, analytical, or more steadfast types, I was just steamrolling them without meaning to. So I made a decision. I don't want to be just magnetic. I want to be present. I want to be safe. I want to be the kind of woman you feel better after talking to because you were seen. Now, if I'm coaching clients, this comes easier to me, but in relationships, personal relationships, and sometimes at work, it's a lot more difficult, as my job as a clinical nurse educator. So here's the truth. Talking is easy, but listening is a superpower. It's emotional. It's leadership. It's intimacy. It's love. And this is especially powerful if you're with someone with a bold personality like me, right? So let's talk if you're someone with a bold personality like me. So let's talk about how we can become better listeners without dimming our light. So I want to pause and speak from the heart for a moment, because some of us aren't just fast talkers. Some of us aren't just energetic or chatty or excited, even though I know that I am that way, right? And you might be too. But sometimes there are deeper reasons that we have trouble listening and connecting with people. Some of us learned how to perform and fill space because silence and maybe even connection felt dangerous. If you were abused, especially as a child, sexually, emotionally, physically, you may have learned to survive by reading every room like your safety depended on it, becoming hyper aware of others' behaviors, talking nonstop to make yourself feel better about what was going on. You may have learned to disassociate and not connect so that you didn't have to feel what was actually happening or feel the shame of what was actually going on. You may have talked quickly to learn to stay in control. You may have smiled to protect yourself. You may have distracted others and yourself from discomfort. You may have distracted yourself through talking, avoiding eye contact, avoiding actual connection because of how hurt or shameful or unsafe that you felt. And here's the thing, that worked. That saved you. But now, as a grown person who wants deeper friendships, intimacy, love, connection, you may notice something strange. When it's quiet, when someone is listening to you, when someone wants to really see you, when you're supposed to just listen or receive, make eye contact, connect on a deep level, you get anxious, you fidget, you talk too much, maybe you shut down, you leave or run away. Not because you're broken, but because your nervous system still remembers what silence used to mean, or what connection used to mean, or what eye contact used to mean, or what, different situations, how they felt to you. For many survivors, silence or eye contact, or even connection, was the before of something bad happening. Listening meant you were powerless and you had to believe everything that person said about you, or even things that your brain couldn't even comprehend because you were so young. So you avoided listening to protect yourself. Being still meant you were exposed. So you fidget and you move. You talk, you lead, you over-explain, you please, because staying in control feels safer than just being. It feels safer than connecting. But here's the truth. You are safe now. And now we have to learn to be present, to listen, to sit in silence. It's not just the skill, it's healing and practice. When you slow down and hold space for others, you also make space for yourself. So how do we heal? How do we reclaim this power of presence? Acknowledge the link without shame. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not bad at relationships. You are just wired for survival, and now you're rewriting that. Try saying it makes sense that stillness feels scary. It makes sense that silence, eye contact, connection feels scary. But I'm learning to feel safe in the quiet now. Use anchoring tools in conversation. When you're listening and feel the urge to interrupt or escape, ground yourself. Press your feet to the floor. Place your hand on your heart. And relax. Say, I am safe. Take one slow inhale and a deep exhale, saying to yourself, I am safe. Everything's okay. I can stay. I can listen. I can be present. I can connect. Practice micro moments of stillness. Start small. Let 1 full second pass before you reply. So just practice that. Let 1 full second pass. Or if someone does open up and say something to you that's scary, like they were abused, or something that happened in their life, or even they're opening up to you about anything. Sometimes if you've had trauma, you hear what they're saying and you connect, but you skip over it because it makes you feel comfortable. Instead, say, I hear you and I understand how that feels, or I know that must have been hard. Ask a question and wait for the full answer. Wait for the full answer. Try 5 minutes of eye contact with a partner or friend while breathing slowly, and just be quiet. Stillness will stretch you, But that stretch is sacred. It's growth. Journal your patterns. After a conversation, ask, did I truly listen? Where did I feel anxious? Where did I feel reactive? What part of me was trying to protect me? You'll start to see your old wounds gently loosening their grip and new patterns starting to evolve, because we don't do these things on purpose. Our brains are just wired for survival mode. They're wired to keep us safe. And if talking and avoiding eye contact and avoiding connection and not actively listening kept you safe because you were sexually or emotionally or physically abused, then that's what you're going to continue to do. So let love rewire your safety. Safe people over time retrain your nervous system. Let someone love you in silence. Let someone see you without performing. That's intimacy. That's healing. That's your next level. And if you're a survivor of childhood trauma or abuse, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are becoming. You don't need to silence your fire, but you also don't need to perform to be worthy of love. Your silence is not empty. It is sacred. And every time that you choose to listen, to stay, to breathe, to not run away when you feel uncomfortable, you're reparenting yourself into a deeper kind of strength. And baby, that's what healing looks like. That's what power looks like. And that's what it means to look at me now, okay? So let's get into some more practical ways that we can be better listeners for everybody, right? Even people that didn't go through any kind of trauma. So the 80-20 rule. Talk 20% of the time, listen 80% of the time. You don't have to be quiet the whole time, but let the other person set the emotional tone. Try asking things like, how are you really doing? What's been on your heart lately? I'm here. What do you need? Let their energy guide the pace. And if your energy still wants to guide the pace, at least come back and pull back just a little to really listen and connect with them. Next, the pause is powerful. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but I really want us all to try it. I used to be allergic to silence, right? I still kind of am. But I see it differently now. Silence isn't awkward, it's sacred, it's special. So the next time someone pauses, don't fill it. Breathe, nod, look them in the eye, hold space. Let that quiet moment open the door for them to speak, for you two to connect. Next, ask better questions. Instead of reacting or fixing, try these. What did that feel like for you? What do you wish that people understood about you? That is a really good one. What do you wish people understood about you? Who do you feel like you are when no one's watching? Do you want support or do you just want someone to listen? Open-ended questions equals open hearts. Okay, we learned that in psych and nursing school, and I remember practicing it on people at home. But then, if we don't practice regularly, a lot of times we go back to our old patterns. So let's practice this regularly. Mirror, don't motivate. Sometimes my cheerleader energy needs to pause instead of jumping in with, you got this, or it's going to be okay. Let's try mirroring back what people say. Like, oh, that sounds overwhelming. You're carrying a lot right now. I can tell that meant something to you. I feel you. This doesn't take away your power. It doesn't make you vulnerable. It deepens your power. It deepens your connection, which is what you're really wanting, or you wouldn't be talking to this person in the first place, right? Next, reframe negativity as vulnerability. This one is so hard for me, y'all. I'm an optimistic woman. I don't like being around negativity. It messes with my vibe. But now I try to reframe it. What if they're not a Debbie Downer? What if they're just being honest? And what if our job isn't to fix it, but to say, I hear you. That sucks. I'm here for you. That is love. That is authenticity. That's being real. That's allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to connect. But the reward is you connect on a deeper level with that person and your relationship grows. And they start to feel safe around you. They start to feel heard around you. Train yourself through reflection. At the end of the day or week, ask yourself, who did I really listen to today? Where did I talk more than I heard? What did I learn about somebody that I love today? Your answers will shape your growth. And I want you guys and myself to just take this in. Listening is the ultimate act of love. When you truly hear someone, you help them hear themselves. So let's say these affirmations right now to rewire our identities as an active listener, as a healed person who takes the time to understand the people they love. I am present, patient, and a powerful listener. I am patient, present, and a powerful listener. My energy is magnetic and my silence is safe. My energy is magnetic and my silence is safe. I make people feel seen, heard, and loved. I make people feel seen, heard, and loved. I am expanding my ability to receive, not just speak. I am expanding my ability to receive, not just speak. All right, now let's do some journal prompts. You can just think about these. You can go back and do them later, or you can go ahead and write them down. Who in my life needs me to listen more, not speak more? Who in my life needs me to speak more? What's one conversation I wish I could redo? What would I say or not say differently? What would I do differently? What's one conversation I would do differently? When was the last time someone made me feel truly heard? When was the last time someone made me feel truly heard? And what did they do? Being a better listener doesn't mean being less of who you are. It means being more intentional with your presence. Your voice is powerful, but so is your stillness. And when you learn to hold both, you become unstoppable. You're not just becoming louder, you're becoming deeper. And baby, that's what it means to look at me now. If this episode touched something in you, share it with a friend. And if you're ready to level up your confidence, your communication, and your emotional power, visit CoachHeatherOwens.com or hit that follow button on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. Let's grow together, one real conversation at a time. Until next time, be kind, be bold, and be all of who you are. I love you. And I'm cheering you on every step of the way. And never forget, you are amazing. And you can do anything you set your mind to.
Could see that you're good enough. Try to